Alrighty, in this video we're looking at the cosine rule, or as I call it, super Pythagoras. So if you get rid of that bit, then basically the first bit just looks like Pythagoras. The cosine rule just has a little adjustment for if the angle is not 90 degrees. So this rule works on all triangles, not just right angled triangles. Now, we saw before that with the sine rule, you've got two angles and two lengths, and you are missing one out of four. With the cosine rule, it's a little bit different. Three lengths, one angle, and we have one out of four of those missing. So depending on what context you're in, that tells you whether to use the sine or the cosine rule. Okay, let's see an example. So we've got to label this triangle. The way that I'm going to label it, I'm going to call this angle big C, and then little c goes across from there. I'm going to call this side here A, and so big A will go across from there. And I'm going to call this side B, so big B will go across from it. Remember, lowercase letters are lengths, uppercase letters are angles, and they always go opposite each other. Now, we need to figure out which side we're using, and that will tell us which variant of the formula we're going to use. Because I want C, I'm choosing this bottom version. So C squared is A squared plus B squared, take 2AB cos of C. Now we can just plug everything in. So that's 14 squared, that's 6 squared. It's 2 times 14 times 6 times cos of 72. There we go. And then we can just pretty much work out what that is. So C squared equals make sure that your calculator is in degrees before you do this. That's in shift setup if you don't have it in degrees. So cos of 72, 180.05. Now I should use an approximately equal sign. So therefore C is root 180.085, which is roughly, and we can work out what that is. So if we take the square root on our calculator, you can go square root and then put in shift answer. So it uses the full version, 13.4 meters. And that's how we use the cosine rule. Okay, find the angle. So we got to label our sides. Let's mix it up a bit. Let's label this one as A for angle. Then I can call the other two sides whatever I want. So I'll go B and B, and I'll go C and C. All right, now we're after A. These top formulas give you lengths. These bottom formulas give you angles. I'm going to be using that one there because I'm after A. I want cos of A on the left. B squared plus C squared, take A squared. All right, and then that's over 2BC. Now we can just pop in all the numbers. So it's going to be 5 squared plus 4 squared, take 6 squared, all over 2 times 5 times 4, and that is cos of A. And we can figure out what that is. So let's do that. 5 squared, 4 squared, take 6 squared, and then 2 times 5 times 4 on the bottom. So it's an eighth. That's convenient. Cos of A is an eighth. Therefore, A, we have to do inverse cos. All right. So inverse cos, you can just do shift answer. I'm just going to write 1 over 8 because I know what the answer was. 82.8. All right, now with the sine rule, I said you had to do some weird adjustments with the angles. Luckily with the cosine rule, you don't. Cosine actually spits out what the angle is. You never run into this weird thing where there's two different answers. Okay, find the length of the missing side in this triangle. So we'd better label it. Let's label this B, because, oh no, let's label it C. You'll see why in a sec. Little c, I can call this A and B. So basically, C squared is A squared plus B squared. Take 2AB cos of C, And this is going to follow the exact same process that we followed before. So that's 6 squared, 8 squared. Take 2 lots of 6 times 8 times cos of 90. C squared. Yeah, I'm actually just going to show you this. Cos of 90. Oh my goodness, it's 0. So this just becomes c squared is 6 squared plus 8 squared. Because all of that thing equals 0. And what do you know? It's just Pythagoras, essentially. So the cosine rule is like a more powerful version of Pythagoras. It's got this adjustment thing for the angle. If that angle happens to be 90, then that whole adjustment term goes away and you're just left with Pythagoras. So c squared is 36 plus 64, which is 100. So therefore c is 10 meters, which is exactly what you'd get if you just did c is root 8 squared plus 6 squared. So that is Pythag, and that is the cosine rule. Both give you the same answers, which I should hope so, because math is supposed to be consistent.